Hi guys, so this is just a little video to check in and to learn our new stuff, box and whisker plots. I hope everybody's doing well. It's hard to believe that it's almost the end of April. I hope everybody had a nice Earth Day today. My girls and I made Earth cupcakes this evening. So there's green and blue cake mix everywhere in my kitchen right now. My 3-year-old wanted to show you guys her favorite toy. She thinks I should show you a new one every time I make a video. So today's guest star, special guest, one of her favorite things is Godzilla. So here he is. He is large and in charge, and I will tell you it really hurts if you step on him. So she wanted to share that with you guys. And not quite as interesting as Godzilla, but still pretty cool in my opinion, is box and whisker charts, which is a weird kind of graph that picks up where we left off on Tuesday. So I'm going to switch here to the document camera. This topic is all outlined in the Google form notes that you will be working through today. This is just another way to kind of help you through it. So what we're going to start with is we have a topic. Also, one of my kids' favorite things is spider monkeys. And we have some ages. So I'm going to put, before I do anything, like we usually do when we work with data, I'm going to put it in order from least to greatest. So hopefully I don't make a mistake here. But let's see. I want to show you guys that this really is important. I don't want to just gloss over this. You know, when I got this ready for you, so I'm looking, I think my next one is 20. So notice how I'm crossing them off as I go. That's really important to try and keep us on track, to not miss one, because if we do miss a number or add an extra one, that could mess up our answers. And some of us saw that unfortunately, on Tuesday. So we have a 30, we have another 30, we have a third 30. So that would definitely be the mode, it would seem so far. And then we have a 33, a 35. I'm also doing this in marker. It's risky here, taking a risk. 38. So now I'm going to count, and we talked about this in class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I should have 12 numbers in my new string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now just like we reviewed on Tuesday, to make this new kind of box and whisker plot, we need to know 5 things. The first thing we need to know is the lowest number. I'm going to circle that. It's our lowest. We need to know the highest number, 38. So we already know 2 out of the 5 things that we need to know, which is great. That was pretty easy. This is called the 5-number summary. And now the other 3 things you might guess are Q1, Q2, and Q3. So we're going to find exactly what you guys found the other day when you did interquartile range. So now we're going to find the median. Now you remember I said that there was 6 things. So there was 12 things. We're going to count over 6, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to draw a line and make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know that this is Q2. Now it's in between 30 and 30, so that makes Q2 30. So I'm going to circle it. All right, now we have 3 numbers that we need out of the 5-number summary. So now I'm going to take these 6, including my lowest number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to find the median of those. So 1, 2, 3, and this is Q1, so 3 and 3. And Q1 is halfway in between 20 and 26, so we want to add those up and divide by 2. We would get 46 divided by 2, which is 23. And that makes sense that 23 is halfway in between 20 and 26. All right, now I'm going to take these 6 over here, and I'm going to find the middle of those. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be Q3. And in between 33 and 35, this one's easy, 34. Okay, so I now have 5 pieces of information. This is exactly what you guys did on Tuesday. This isn't anything different from that, but these 5 numbers make up the 5-number summary that we need to make this new kind of picture next, called a box and whisker plot. So we have 5 things, the 3 Qs, a low, and a high. All right, and now we're going to come down here. This will be provided for you in the Google form, but we need a number line. So I'm going to draw myself a number line. I feel like Josh from Blue's Clues here, drawing in my notebook for you. We're big on Blue's Clues in my house. And so I'm going to number from 14 all the way up to 38. Okay, not really, but I'm going to pretend. Okay, just because the sake of time, and I just found out that YouTube does not allow videos longer than 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and keep it going here. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to put those 5 numbers where we just saw. So Q2, I'm going to say 30 would be right here. Well, you know what? We should really probably number this. So let's say 15, let's say 20, 25, 30, 35, and we'll call this 40 instead of 38. Okay, so I cheated a little bit. I counted by 5s. All right, so now I need to put my 5 numbers. Notice how many times I've said 5 here. There's 5 things that are going to go on here. So the first one I'm going to put is Q2. So kind of like I drew a line up here, I'm going to find 30 on my number line, and I'm going to draw a line hovering over the number line. Okay, and what that really is going to turn into is a box. That's the side of a box. And now I'm going to draw a line just like this one at 34. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line just like this one at 23. So that would be about halfway over here. Okay, and now I'm going to connect those 3 Q's into a box. Now really it's actually kind of 2 boxes. So you can think about it as one big box or 2 boxes right next to each other. And that's the weirdest part of this graph. The rest is pretty easy. So now all I need to do is add the whiskers. So in case you guys were wondering, box and whiskers, like what does that mean? There's the boxes. And now we need to do a whisker out to those other 2 numbers that we talked about. Remember we said 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm going to do a whisker out to 38, meaning I'm going to draw a line out there, just like a whisker on a cat or a dog. And then I'm going to do a whisker out to 14. And that's it. That's a box and whisker plot. Now, why on earth would you ever want to know something like this for a data set? We'll get more into this later. But what it does is, like we talked about on Tuesday, it takes 3 cuts and it makes 4 pieces. So remember when we talked about a Hershey bar, if we wanted to break it into 4 pieces, we would make 3 cuts. Okay, well, we made 3 cuts. And that splits our data into 4 even groups, 25% chunks. So what this graph does is shows those 4 zones or 4 groups in our data. So in this whisker, we would find 25% of our data. So 25% of the spider monkeys are in between 14 years old and 23 years old. Okay, we would say this is this part of the box right here, just this part, is another 25% of our data. So 25% of the spider monkeys are between 23 years old and 30 years old. And then we would say another 25% of the spider monkeys are between 30 years old and 34 years old. So you can see that's a little bit of a smaller area on the graph, which means there's a couple more monkeys packed in there. That's an age group that's densely represented. And then the last group would be from 34 to 38. So 25% of the monkeys, a quarter of the oldest 25% of the monkeys would be in between 34 and 38 years old. So what this lets you do is kind of see, okay, where's the top 25% of the data? Where's the bottom 25% of the data? Where's that middle 50% like we talked about with IQR on Tuesday? So you can imagine if this was a test, a test that we took, where was the top 25% of scores? Or, in terms of free throws in the NBA, the 25% top scores would be between how many points and how many points. So like I said, we'll get a little bit more into the analysis, but this goes over how to take our 5-number summary, which is nothing new. That's something we already knew how to do from before school getting out. Find those quartiles. We reviewed it on Tuesday, so Q1, Q2, Q3. This adds in a low and a high, which is pretty easy to pick out, and it just puts that into this graph. So when you make your graph, you're going to have Q1 is this line, you're going to have Q2 as this line, you're going to have Q3 as this line, build yourself a box, and add a whisker out to the lowest and highest number. And then that's our 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anchored over our number line, and then we can use that to talk about groups of our data. So I know that's a lot of information, that's why I wanted to make a video. I know you guys are all very techy, so you can feel free to pause the video, go back and rewatch it, stop as I get to certain points, and just use this as a resource while you guys are working through these questions. I want to make sure that you're reading through the notes, you're watching the videos. You really do need to watch them, the ones that are embedded and the notes that are there, and do your best work with the questions. If you have any questions, I'm absolutely here. You can shoot me an email and we will go from there. Okay, I hope everybody has a good day and we'll talk soon. I have to figure out how to turn this off.